Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on what day you're watching this or what time you're watching this. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Carolyn. This is my channel, Carolyn Stitches, Flosstube number 23. You know, I just looked it up too. I think I just looked it up. I thought it was Flosstube 23. Anyways, welcome back. Today is Monday, May 30th, I think. 2022. It is Memorial Day in the U.S. We are remembering today all of those who have sacrificed the ultimate for the country. So today is Memorial Day. I hope you have a lovely day with your family if you are in the U.S. and are observing the holiday. Let's see here. It has been about a month since my last update, and in that month, a few things have happened. It's been a busy morning. I've been up since like 4 in the morning. I had to drive down to Fort Lauderdale Airport, drop my husband off for an early morning flight out of Fort Lauderdale. He's on his way to Dallas for some training with work. And so I have a week to myself. I'm so excited. I am going to binge watch Flosstube and get so much stitching done because I don't have to cook every night. It's just for me. I don't have to cook. So it's going to be a nice week. I will miss him, but he's in Dallas and he is looking forward to visiting taking a tour of the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. So other things this month that have been happening. This past Saturday, I had a fabulous Stitchy afternoon with 2 local friends. We got together at one of our friends' house and we just stitched for a few hours. It's nice to get out and get with the ladies and do some stitching. Earlier this month, I went up to Ocala, Florida for Stitching with the Flossies event. I was one of the invited Flossies. It was put on by Brick City Cross Stitch, Jean, the owner of Brick City Cross Stitch, and Linda, who is Stitchy Linda on Instagram, put together the Stitching with the Flossies and invited, I believe it was a total of 5 Florida Flosstubers. So it was myself, it was Chrissy from Finally a Farm Girl, Melissa from Neely's Needle Nest, Stacie at Stacie Stitches, Erin at Perpetual Projects were the invited Flosstubers. So what happened, and there was like 30 maybe ladies. So the Flosstubers would start out at a table, and every about 45 minutes or so, they'd ring the cowbell, and the Flosstubers would get up and move tables. So you got a chance to talk to every Flosstuber. And it's funny because I was behind in the rotation. Stacie Stitches was in front of me. So every time, like, she settled in and got comfortable. And every time I'm like, come on, Stacie, time to move along. And I felt so bad. Like I was just kept kicking Stacie out of her seat all weekend. Not all week, but all day. But it was a lot of fun. I did not get a lot of stitching done. I was working on a project and I think I got like 1 word stitched. But it was a lot of fun to meet all the lovely stitchers and the other Flosstubers. I wish I would have had some time to like talk to some of the other Flosstubers more. And there was also Jessica from Sweetwater Stitcher. She was there as an attendee, so I got to talk to her for a little while, but met some fabulous stitchers from the Florida and Georgia area. And I can't wait for another Stitching with the Flossies event put on by Brick City, because next time I will go as an attendee and I'll get to sit still and stitch and let everybody else move around and meet the Flosstubers. But it was nice. Us stitchers, we brought like samples of some of our finishing, and everyone got to see that. And they had this lovely cake that the local grocery store did that was really nice. But it was fun. It was fun. It was a good time. The smallest stash I ever bought at Brick City. I came back with 1 pattern and 1 piece of fabric. The smallest shopping spree ever for me from Brick City. Other than that, this month I have had a lot of stitching time. I've spent some days where I've gone over to the animal shelter and played with the kitties, to love on the kitties and socialize the kitties. I'm still working on husband to get me kitty number 3. But that should happen. I have StitchCon coming up in about, I don't know, 2.5 weeks or so. StitchCon Weekend B I will be at. very much looking forward to that. I just finished my smalls exchange yesterday, fully finished it, got everything together. Now I'm starting to throw ideas and get in my head of what am I going to bring to stitch on, because I'm not going to bring a lot since we are flying in. And I need to think of things to bring that are small and easy to work on. So I'll come up with something, a couple smalls, and work on those. But I'm very much looking forward to that. So I've had a busy month. I have had a finish. I did finishing yesterday. So I've had some previous finishes that I fully finished. I've had a whip that I finished and fully finished. I've had new start that I finished, fully finished. I've had a new start that I finished. I've had a restart, a start and a restart, a new start. I'm all over the place. I've had all kinds of stuff. And I had plans coming up, and I have haul. Oh, so part of my trip, when I went up to Brick City cross stitch at the beginning of the month, I drove up the day before because it is a 4-hour drive for me. I drove up the Friday before, and on the way up, I stopped at Carolyn's Frame Up in Lakeland, Florida. Carolyn's been there for a long time, but if you do stop in, call ahead to make sure she will be open. Selection in the store, old stuff. Not a lot of new stuff, not a large selection. She had some sale she told me about when I was there that was like buy one pattern, get one 50% off. So I did find like 2 mirrors and I think another pattern I did get. One of the ones is my new start and finish I did buy at Carolyn's Frame Up. But she does have a back room that is she calls it her Alzheimer's room. And it's a room of cross-stitch patterns, magazines, partially kitted cross-stitch projects, needlepoint projects, leftover quilting projects, stuff that is a stitcher stash where the stitcher may have passed on and the family brought her their stash, or stitchers cleaning out their closet and bringing her their stash. So she has this room about the size of an office maybe. Everything's in there, and all she asks, you can dig through the room, take as much as you want to take, but all she asks is you make a donation to Alzheimer's research, and then you can take what you want. So I did find a few things, and I will share those with you. I remember my friend Carolyn and I stopped in there a few years ago when she was in a different location, and to me, it seemed like the pile was larger at that time a few years ago, and I know my friend found a Prairie Moon, I think it was a Prairie Moon, like a Prairie Moon out of print pattern that she had actually been hunting for. And it seemed like there was more selection then, but it, you know, over the years, things come and go. It was probably picked over. But I did find a few things that I was happy to find. So let's get into it. Okay. Finishes. Let's go fully finished. So this is my finish of Let's Talk Stitching by Hands On Design. I framed it in an 8x10 frame myself. It is stitched on 32 count Jobeline in color Hidden Treasures by Fiberlicious Fibers. Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers, Fiberlicious Fibers. So it's on 32 count Jobeline Hidden Treasures, all called for floss. So I know I finished stitching this a while ago. I was doing this as a stitch along with Stephanie at Sew Glover Creations. You have to see her. She added glow-in-the-dark elements. She's changed out certain areas of glow-in-the-dark elements, and hers is looking great. But this is mine. I got this distressed frame. I think I just picked it up at Michael's. So it has things where you can hang it. So I'm gonna hang it in my sewing room. But I thought that frame looked great with the colors in the fabric and the colors in the floss. So that was my fully finish. Oop, sorry. And my next one is by My Big Toe, I'm a Stitcher. And this I stitched on 32 count linen by Seraphim Fabrics called Summer Storm. And I was working on this. This is my project I brought with me to Stitching with the Flossies. And I was somewhere, like I had stitched it down to here, and I think I got like a word over here done or something, but I finished it. I came back and I focused and I finished it. So this is I'm a Stitcher by My Big Toe. And this was killing me yesterday to frame it. So those who asked, this color here that the letters are in, that is a DMC 4025 color that I use there. And I use some called fors up here, and I use some subs, but it's pretty similar to the picture. So this one, I framed this yesterday, and with this linen, at first I tried to do my easy way where I just kind of hot glue. It was nowhere near straight or anything, and then so I laced it. I took the hot glue off and I laced it, and I'm still, it's not as straight as I'd like it to be, the borders, but I'm happy with it. This is also going to hang up in my sewing room. So this is I'm a Stitcher by My Big Toe Designs. So I finished that earlier in the month when I got back from Stitching with the Flossies, and have it whatchamacallit, framed. And oh, the frame got me. I sliced my thumb on the frame. Be careful with these frames and some of this stuff, they'll get you. So that is I'm a Stitcher. And my next new start, this was a new start and a finish, and a fully finished. It's a pattern I picked up, is one of the patterns I picked up at Carolyn's Frame Up earlier in the month. And when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I have to stitch this. This is like the whole look and everything. It's by Green Apple. It is part of the Southern Roots collection, and it's called Goldie. And I stitched it on 28 count, picture this plus Crystal Whimsy. And then I fully finished it in this frame. I love her. All the called for flosses. I did use gold metallic in her hair, in her braids. It did say you could use red beads. I didn't really have any that I wanted to use, so I just did the gold metallic. But this is Goldie. I framed it yesterday. I found this frame at Burlington Coat Factory, I think. It was matted to hold a 4x6 picture, but taking the mat out of it, it's perfect for her. It was a little hard to frame because the frame is like shaped. So I had to cut a piece of mat board and shape it, and it was a little difficult, and I really wish I would have centered her a little more in the north-south centering. But I love her on this purple fabric with this purple frame. I think she looks gorgeous. So that is Goldie. A new start and a fully finished. I have passed the pattern along. I have passed the pattern. So pattern's passed along, but I have seen, if you want the pattern, I have seen these out on, I have seen her out on like eBay. So I think you can find it if you really like it. But it's Goldie, Green Apple Co. Southern Roots Collection. I think she is gorgeous. Okay. And my next new start and finish, I was down at the cross stitch cupboard earlier this month. I took a trip down there to drop off my project for the yearly contest. So every year the cross stitch cupboard does a yearly contest where the local stitchers can bring in a project that they stitched and finished, and she puts up like a contest. So the customers of the store can get a ballot and vote for their favorite finish. So I dropped off my project, and while I was there, I saw this pattern by Salty Stitcher Designs, Dr. Maya Angelou. And it says, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So I picked this up, Salty Stitcher, Dr. Maya Angelou. And I substituted it in my own Victoria Motto sampler floss substitution. I did my own substitution on the colors. And I stitched this on a piece of 16 count Picture This Plus Sand. And stitched it and finished it. So there it is. I think I'm gonna have this framed. I don't know if I'll take it to the office or I'll just put it in my sewing room or something, but that was a fun stitch. It calls for these little, looks like little heart things for beads to go inside of them, but I didn't quite have a bead that went with the color substitution, so I just used one of the other colors, make it like a little two-tone. So there's that one. Very happy with that. So that was a new start and a finish. Okay, this one I started and I had to restart. This one I'm stitching for my mom. Hi Mom, I know you're watching. It is a kit from Designworks called Feathered Stars. She asked if I would stitch it for her. It came with a 14 count Aida, but I didn't like using the Aida cloth. And I was at first I picked this beautiful like hand-dyed blue fabric that I thought, oh, it looked beautiful with the birds and all that, until I realized if I did that, then I would have to stitch all of this white in the quilt. And I was like, oh, that ain't happening. So I went in my stash. I figured, okay, let me find something in my stash. So I went in my stash and I pulled out a 28 count even weave in my stash and started stitching on it. And as I'm stitching, I started going horizontal and I'm like, okay, well, that looks a little big. That looks a little odd. And then so I went vertical and it was like total off. So this is 28 count vertical, but this is like 26 count, 25 count. It's totally off. It's not even at all. And just so you're aware, it's an MCG Textiles even weave from a big box store. Yeah, I'm glad I went horizontal and vertical before I went much further in the project. So scrap that. When I went up to Brick City at the beginning of the month, I stopped in and I got a piece of 32 count white jobeling and I restarted it. So there is Feathered Stars. That's as far as I've gotten right now. Pardon my hanging floss. I was working on this yesterday at my friend's and I got a knot in my thread and was like, forget it, and just took it out of the Q-snaps and started something else. This is going to have so much back stitching in it, which I'm not looking forward to. I'm not a fan. I know back stitching has its place and back stitching can work, but I'm not a fan of back stitching. So this is where I am right now on Feathered Stars. I will get back to it at some point. Eventually, I know you're watching, Mom. Eventually, I will get back to it. It will get finished. So that is Feathered Stars. And then I did a new start. This is another one while I was down at Cross Stitch Cupboard, digging around in every nook and crevice and cranny that is there. I came across the Stitching Parlor, A Ball at Netherfield, which is inspired by Pride and Prejudice, A Ball at Netherfield. However, to me, it reminded me of Bridgerton. I don't know why. The colors, I don't know why. It reminded me of Bridgerton. So I am calling it my Bridgerton piece. And I am going to leave off the words down here, A Ball at Netherfield. And I think I'm going to leave off the alphabet because that alphabet is over 1. And I'm not stitching it. I don't think it needs it. So I'm just going to stitch everything and then see what it looks like without the alphabet. And I'll probably end up leaving the alphabet off. But I am calling this one my Bridgerton piece. And I think I might do skin conversions on the characters just to make them look a little more Bridgerton in a way. I know the house isn't quite Bridgerton, but you know, let's go with it, people. Let's go with it. It's Bridgerton to me. I did a full Victorian Motto sampler threads conversion. I just went through my Victorian Motto and pulled colors. So I'm doing a full Victorian Motto sampler thread conversion. Oh, I got hanging threads everywhere because I was working on this last night. And I am stitching it on, one moment, there is a card somewhere. Tell me I've already lost the card. It's 28 count Lugana called Baby Lotion. baby lotion. It's called baby lotion. It has the slightest tinge of a pink to it. So that is where I'm at on that with my Victoria Motto sampler threads. I started this yesterday afternoon stitching with my friends, and that is how far I've gotten. So I'll stitch with it. Maybe this will come to me to StitchCon. So we'll see. Okay, so that is my new start. Let's get into, I did make some notes. Let's get into plans, and then I will go through haul, because I have haul that has, it's been a month, so there's haul that came in the mail, and then the haul I found at Carolyn's Frame Up. So while I was in my sewing room yesterday doing finishing, there was some patterns sitting there, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna kit these up, and maybe these will go to StitchCon with me too. So one is Elizabeth's Needlework Designs Antique Autumn Sampler. I think I found this, yep, I found this at the Cross Stitch Cupboard. Antique Autumn Sampler. And I have a piece of 16 count Ada in Weathered Stone by Atomic Ranch. So a piece of 16 count Ada. I'll stitch on anything. Linen, Jobeline, Ada. I do like the hand-dyed Adas as opposed to just like plain white Ada. So that's that one. I pulled the flosses for that. And another one on one of my trips to the cupboard, I picked up Enter. This one cracks me up. It's by Helga Mandel Designs, published by Suzette Creations, and it's called Enter. This says Enter If You Dare. This says Enter If You There. Enter if you dare, enter if you there. Go with it. And there's a piece of, what is this? I think it's 16 count Ada in lavender. So it's lavender. So it's not quite purpley, but it's lavender. So I did pull the flosses. This one doesn't use a lot of floss. And where did I put it? Oh, it doesn't use a lot. Oh, it's right here in front of me. Yep, 16 count Ada lavender. Like, I just pulled strands of floss because that's pretty much all the floss it's going to use. I just pulled the strands of floss. So this will be a quick stitch. Who knows? Maybe I'll start it today. Maybe I'll start it today. I'm itching to start things. You ever get that sometimes, where you just like itching to start new things? It's not like I have whips in there. I just want to start something new. So I feel like starting something new. I'm going to start something new. Okay, so those are plans. I want to start those two. And other plans I have is I want to join. I was watching a new to me Flosstuber, and I think she's new to Flosstuber. Is Maggi at Kitschy Whips. I follow her on Instagram and then her Flosstube, and she's starting a stitch along with Nadine at Nad's X Stitch. They're going to do the Night Nymph and Day Nymph Sal. So they've started a stitch along called Nymph Sal, and I've had these. I got these this past year, and I've been wanting to start them. So I was like, oh, perfect time. I'll join along with them. I think they've already started. But I couldn't decide which fabrics I wanted to do. So part of my, oh, stuff is falling. Part of my visit with my friends yesterday is I brought a pile of fabrics with me, and they helped me pick fabric. So this is Night Nymph. For Night Nymph, we decided as a group, a 28 count Jobeline called Mixed Berry. So this is the Mixed Berry. And this is what we're going to do, or I am, not we, because they're not stitching it. I'm going to do Night Nymph on. So I love that. And with these Nymph ones. The embellishment packs are a little different how they come. They come with the Valdani floss that's called for. I have it open because we were doing a floss toss. So they come with not only the beads, but the Valdani floss that it calls for, because these use Valdani. So that is Night Nymph. And then for Day Nymph, sorry for the zipper. For Day Nymph, we went a little different. Oh yeah, there's gonna be a lot of plastic here. Sorry. I'll put it back in its bag. So this is Day Nymph. And we picked an Under the Sea Fabrics 32 count linen Hestia. So Day Nymph is going to be on that fabric. I think she'll look great. So she's almost going to turn into an autumn nymph. I might call them a winter nymph and an autumn nymph instead of a day nymph and night nymph. So I'll start one of those. I don't know which one. I'm itching to start. Okay, so that is my plans. Let's get into haul. I got a little haul. So if you don't want to stick around for haul, I can end it right there and you can stop. So I have had a few new subscribers lately, and I want to thank all the new subscribers. Thank you everyone who's found my channel. I do hope you will come back and continue with me through my journey. Like I said, I'm leaving for StitchCon. I'm not good at taking pictures of these things. I take like 1 or 2 pictures. I'll put in some pictures earlier of Stitching with the Flossies, but I'm not good at taking these pictures or taking pictures of people. I'm just in the moment. I'm kind of there, stitching and enjoying it and absorbing it. I'm not a big picture taker. I'm sorry. I know with these StitchCon things, there'll be a lot of recaps. A lot of Flosstubers recap them stuff. But if you see me and you want to take a picture, or whatever, I'm happy to sit in a picture with you. I'm just not one to go around taking a bunch of pictures. I'll try. That's all I can promise is I'll try. But I'm usually just so focused on everything and absorbing it and taking it all in that I just forget to take pictures. It's my birthday weekend that weekend, so I'm looking forward to spending time with my 2 girlfriends and then also meeting everybody. So I will be there. If you see me, please, please, please come say hello. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to, say hello. I'm going to be walking around, and I'm sure I'll be, seeing people that I watch online and totally just like, oh my God, it's you. Hello. So it's always nice to meet. We see each other on video. Well, we don't see each other. We watch Flosstubers on video, and you kind of get to know them, and you get to know their projects, and you feel like you know them. But it's always nice to meet them in person. And so far, all the Flosstubers that sorry, my cat's got a new tunnel. He's over there playing with it. The Flosstubers I've met in person, they seem just as genuine as they do on their videos. So it's just nice to meet people. So I'm looking forward to meeting people at StitchCon. What else am I going to be doing? So StitchCon, I have a week to myself for my husband this week. StitchCon, I'll probably be at the shelter again, playing with the cats, and hopefully trying to bring home my 3rd one. And then my next video. Okay, here's the thing. My next video at the end of June, beginning of July, maybe I'll film it 4th of July weekend. That video, I may do a whip parade and go through everything. And then I'm not a Stitchy planner where it's like, Christmas in July or Whip Mania, or I stitch on what I want to stitch, and things change. Like I had grand plans to stitch on one thing for a while, and look, I did 2 new starts and finishes. There's no telling what'll go. Plans, I'd like to start the nymphs. I'd like to start those 2 things I've showed you. May happen. I may go back to some other whips. Something else may get started. Who knows? So stick around. Come back and find out. But my next one, I will do a whip parade. So it's like a mid-year whip parade. So let's get into haul. What I've got here, what's come in the mail, and what I found at Carolyn's Frame Up. So when I was at Brick City and I picked up my piece of fabric, I picked up a pattern because I saw this and I love this. Rosewood Manor, Autumn Hill. I love this. Love this, love this. So I picked this one up. This will get started. some point. It's either going to go in the stash for now, come out later, but it also has, you know, extra little designs in it. Autumn Hill. And there is also a Spring Hill and a Summer Hill, and eventually I think there'll be a Winter Hill. Sorry, the cat's just playing. Okay, I picked up online Autumn Alphabet by Willow Hill Samplings. Just love this. The little cat. And I love that this is a white pumpkin and a teal pumpkin. And then I picked up Quaker Bluebird Sampler. I think Chrissy at Finally a Farm Girl did this one. And I love a Quaker. So this is Quaker Bluebird Sampler. I will just pull out of it, probably a Victorian Motto sampler floss and do this. It's kind of big. It looks deceiving, but it is pretty big. On Stitched On 40 count, it's like 16 inches long. And when I was down at the cupboard and bought those other two patterns, Karen usually sometimes has a bin of patterns out in the front of the shop, which are like free to customers. Usually it's really old patterns, or it's shop copies of samples that they've made for the shop. I saw this one in there. It's Erica Michaels Franken Gothic. That is so cute. And it's used. I mean, there's writing in here. There's writing all over the inside, like someone was doing their stitch count math, and there's some highlighting on the pattern, but it's still a usable pattern. So, Franken Gothic by Erica Michaels. Love that. Kind of looks like my hair half the time. And then I ordered online. I forget where I got these. I might have got these. These might have been 1884 maybe. Oh my God, McKenna. You're killing me, lady. You just got in like somebody's stuff and you're selling it and posting it and you're killing me. I keep going to your website and putting stuff in my cart and keep being good and walking away. So I picked up Lizzie Kate Kitty String. I'm sorry if you hear that. He's having a blast in his tunnel. I picked up Plum Street Samplers Clementine. Probably have to do some color conversions to make this look more like my spirit, my little calico. And I picked up Lila's Studio, a Quaker Welcome. I do like a Quaker. So Quaker Welcome by Lila Studio. And then when I was at, okay, so the rest of this is Carolyn's Frame Up. The Goldie I bought at Carolyn's Frame Up, and I bought Butternut Road Once Upon a Time. I had never seen this one before, and I like this. It's very fairy tale, Once Upon a Time. Not sure if I'll stitch this castle thing in the back or just the medieval lady, but I do like that. I know there's a stitch along going on right now for Told in a Garden. I was going to join it, but there's nothing in Told in a Garden that really speaks to me. It's a little more country for my taste. Very Amishy country barns. They're cute, but it's not my aesthetic. So Butternut Road, Once Upon a Time. And then I found two mirrors. I found Butterfly Fairy and the Woodland Fairy. I got those two mirrors. Okay, and then the rest of this is from the Alzheimer's room. So in the Alzheimer's room, here is what I found. I picked up a little hand-painted, needlepoint thing, hand-painted needlepoint in a bag with threads. So I'm going to use this as a practice to practice doing a little bit of needlepoint on a hand-painted canvas, because if you've seen me before, I do counted canvas. That's brand new for me. I don't do it all the time. It's when I'm kind of in the mood, I'll pull it out and I work on counted canvas. But I figure, let's see what this hype is about with these hand-painted canvases, because these things are expensive. I mean, this one was $22, and who knows when that was and what year. But this was from the Alzheimer's room. It's a deer little stocking. I'll give it a try. See if I like it. I'm not going to sit here and say I probably won't, but it's probably not going to end up being my cup of tea. But we'll give it a try. Never say never, right? Okay, and so for the rest of the room, I found Just Nan Peacock Alphabet. Look at those colors. And it has the beads. So Peacock Alphabet. Love those colors. Those colors are so me. I found letters from Nora, the letter M. It's my last name. The letter M. And I found letters from Nora, the letter R, which is my maiden name. It is an R. And these are like perfect condition. There's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing written inside, nothing. So I got the letter R and the letter M. I found red sugar in the room. And I found marigold in the room. So I got those. A Teresa Wensler Fantasy Sampler pattern. I love that one. That's a lot of work. Oh my goodness, these Teresa Wentlers. Whew. This one isn't bad as some of the others. I think there was another one in there and I put it back. I didn't even like, no, I ain't taking this because like the flosses was like the entire page and it was like blends. So I'm sure those of you who had done Teresa Wensler, you're like, yeah, that's normal. Yeah, whatever. So this only has like a few flosses, but it still has a lot of blends in it. And it was just, so back stitching is not too horrible. Not too horrible in the back stitching. So yeah, maybe one day. I like good fantasy stuff. And then I found 3 magazines that were there. One is Cross Stitch and Needlework. And this one has, I mean, this is cute. That was in there. Joyful Christmas. And I think it has a Nora or a Mirabilia. Yeah, it does. It has Fairy Dream. I think I may have this pattern, but it has Fairy Dream in it. I picked up this Stony Creek one. I'd actually been seeing this one online and was thinking about getting it because I've never stitched a stocking before. And there's a Flosstuber, so all she does is stockings, and she's kind of inspired me. I'm kind of like, I kind of want to stitch a stocking now. And I've been seeing this one online. It has cats. So I picked this one up, Stony Creek. I picked that one up. I was there because it has the cat sleeping. You never know, one day. And then I came across this. June 1999, the Cross Stitcher with the Angel of Cross Stitch. And this is the original one that uses all 391 colors of DMC that were available at the time. And they show it stitched on like a dark background and a light background. So this is the Angel of Cross Stitch using at the time all 391 colors of DMC that were available. You have 5 floss keys in different colors. So yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll tackle it. But it's pretty intense. The whole chart is in color because of the 5 floss keys in color. So I found that one there, which is pretty surprising, the Angel of Cross Stitch. So that is everything. Thank you for joining me today. I am going to end this video and I'm going to get it uploaded this morning. It looks like it wants to rain. I really hope it rains. That makes me feel a little better about being inside all day. And I am going to get this edited and uploaded today, and then I'm going to settle in and watch Flosstube all day and maybe some Pirates movies. I'm still on a pirate movie marathon, and play with my kitties. I'll miss my husband. I'll miss my husband a little today. I'll miss him a lot tonight, and I'll miss him a lot the rest of the week. But I am looking for, I'm sorry, honey, if you watch this at some point. I'm looking forward to the quiet. But yeah, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for joining me. And I hope everyone has a safe Memorial Day weekend, what's left of it. If you are off today, remember those, who gave all. And enjoy your June. If you're going to be at StitchCon Weekend B, I will be there. Please find me. I can't wait to go get my hair done before Weekend B. So I'm getting my color put. I'm getting this mop taken care of. And, oh, this hair is driving me crazy. The story behind the hair. My hair used to be straight. If you look in old videos, my hair was straight. I loved my style. It was straight, little bob. Loved my style. I have a fabulous hairstylist. Long story short, I had a surgery. I lost a bunch of hair. A bunch of my hair fell out. Like half of my hair fell out. When my hair grew back in, it grew back in with curl. I've never had curl in my life, in my hair. So my hair grew back with curl. I'm learning to live with the curl, plus with being gray in the curl, plus it going from being short, now we're trying to grow it back long. It's been driving me batty. So it's finally got length back where I'm going to go to my stylist and be like, work your magic with this. I'm still learning to adjust with the curl and the gray and going out in the heat and humidity of South Florida, and then it frizzes. But I have also missed having my hair color in my hair. So she's going to work her magic. She's giving me back. She's going to do my blue highlights and style this mess of a head. So I get back to hopefully feeling a little bit like myself with my highlights and doing something with this hair. So I miss my old hairstyle. But the curls are here. I have to learn to live with the curls. Okay. I know there's bigger problems in the world than me and my curls, but it's on my mind right now. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for joining me. Get lots of stitching done. Watch lots of Flosstube. Support your local LNS. And have a wonderful and safe June. If I see you at StitchCon, come see me. Stay safe, have fun, and I will see you on my next video at the end of June, beginning of July for a whip parade. Bye, everyone. Thank you.